Welcome to the Rank Views podcast, everyone.
Thanks, Lauren. Welcome to episode 4 or 5 and part 4 of our AI mini-series. Today's episode will be about content AI. For those new to the show, we've already talked about a couple of things. Our first AI episode 1, was about the technology stack. Get it right. Don't screw it up. Get an all-in-one solution. Don't Franken-stack your AI technology with a bunch of different companies. Try to get it all under one. We have one that we recommend if you need one. What was episode 2? Episode 2 was getting into the agent world. Like, you've seen those commercials on TV with all the big companies like Microsoft or Dell. You need an agent. Marketing folks need agents, and we have agents that we employ. I actually call them AI employees. One of the easiest things right now is kind of that front desk. Answer the phones, answer some simple emails, maybe inbound, outbound phone calling. That's one of the many AI employee tasks that you can do. The third one was creative.
Mm-hmm.
And this one kind of overlaps with creative because creative and content kind of live in the same side of the building, if you will. Like, it's not too far apart to say that content is creative.
Mm-hmm.
Work, sometimes you enhance text with images, videos. Is that content, or is that creative, or is that kind of a combination? And then how does AI play into those worlds? I think we covered creative last time pretty well, getting into like the Soras and, add creative AI and kind of those tools that you can use to speed up and scale creative. Today we'll talk about a little bit more like the written word. We got Lauren, who is director of content at Rank Views. So this is definitely, hopefully, your podcast more than mine. You can share as much as you want. And we got Maggie as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a content writer. So
yep.
We got the content folks in the room. So the format that I want to kind of stick to before we get into the main topic is what's new, what's trending with AI in your world. Who wants to go first?
This is where I was unprepared.
I don't know about in my world, but did see Disney's got a new AI advertising platform, so that's interesting. They're partnering with like OpenAI, so like ChatGPT kind of a thing.
Didn't they like do some sort of like negotiation where you can use Mickey Mouse in AI? Or they're like letting their characters that they own the copyright to be used in AI?
I think I did see something about that, especially with like the Sora kind of thing, like the image generation, that they like relaxed on those rules a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I think it's like a 3-year agreement. But yeah, I think Disney did buy a pretty big, I don't know if it was OpenAI. So I think they bought like 1 billion shares worth of OpenAI stock or something. Yeah, that was interesting because there's a little tit for tat there. I'm not sure exactly if they're going to release all the details of how much did Disney actually buy and what percent do they own now.
Mm-hmm. Which, aside, how much does the OpenAI stock cost? Like, that has to be insane, right?
let's find out.
Well, it's not public. It's
not public?
It's private. It's VIP only. And if you got $1 billion to spend, I'll sell you some stock.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
The estimation is $700 to $900 per share.
Yeah.
It's pretty high.
That's what I read. Disney bought 1%. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if you're getting the VIP treatment, you're going to buy $1 billion worth. You're going to get, I wouldn't say pennies on the dollar, but you're going to probably get a 2-for-1 special or something. So I don't know. Maybe they own 2% or something.
Interesting.
Allegedly, hypothetically. I don't know. Don't quote me on any of that.
Disney, don't come after us for making assumptions.
I don't know. Yeah.
This is for educational purposes. We are not infringing on any copyright here.
I supported your business 2 weeks ago.
I'm on the bundle with Hulu Disney, so don't come at me.
Yeah.
I'm giving you money. Lauren, what's new in your world? Anything since we haven't done this in a while?
I know.
Our last podcast was before the holidays, so Happy New Year, everybody. So it's been a while. Anything over the holidays pique your interest?
No.
She's brutally honest, if anything, everybody. She tells it how it is.
Yep,
We're just going to roll with that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you my fun stuff. Somebody came prepared. I was playing, Umbrella. Gemini is my go-to now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read this a couple times from other people on LinkedIn and I even saw an infographic kind of chart that says Gemini is taking over more market share month over month over month from OpenAI. ChatGPT is losing the battle to Gemini. And the reason for me is we use Google Workspace. So my email, my Google Drive, my calendar, all these things that I've been able to do with Gemini are only Gemini things. Like I can't ask Claude to add things to my calendar or review 6 months worth of emails because it can't tap into that data.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the game changer for me. And I think it's funny because you don't really think about these things until you get like on a platform like LinkedIn. Everyone's like, is everybody else using Gemini now? And I think the answer is yes. People are starting to use Gemini. Maybe if you're a Microsoft or whatever that email platform is,
they're
probably using Copilot. Because I think it kind of goes back to our first podcast is get the right tech stack. If your tech stack is or if your email and your the way you run your life is Android, don't buy an Apple AI. If you're a Google Workspace company, don't use Copilot. If you're, it just native tools work better with native applications, and you don't want to start crossing the streams. So that was cool, and then that kind of got me into Gemini. Gemini has Nano Banana now, which is my other new favorite creative tool. I was building some sales slides and some pitch decks, and the bottom of Google Slides, because I don't really use PowerPoint anymore, there's this little like enhance this slide with Nano Banana.
Oh yeah, I remember you doing that.
Let's click that button and see what happens. That thing kicks booty. That thing was awesome. I was like, this makes all my like prior slides look like I'm an amateur. Like the graphic design was great, the colors, just the little things that they could do. I'm like, man, I wouldn't even thought of that. That's kind of cool. And it makes your presentations and your slides and your Zoom calls or whatever you're going to do when you present. Like, I'm like, ooh, I kind of like getting behind this. This is me at the next level. So I definitely was into that. That was cool. I'm killing, like, I think this is also kind of maybe like, keeping and growing things. Also, like, what am I not using anymore? I don't think I'm using Claude as much. Mm-hmm. Claude was my go-to when it came to content, which is, I guess, this maybe is a good segue into the main topic. Claude was my better writer. Claude could do things Gemini couldn't do 6 months ago. But now I'm like, I think Gemini can write. I think Gemini is a good writer now. It can judge my copy and make it just as good as Claude, if not, better in some ways. Because again, it can tap into, it knows me. It knows how I like to write. It knows the email conversations I've had with person X over the last 6 months, year. It just knows. I was weirded out the other day because I was like, how did you know that? And they're like, oh, because you said that on April 16th. And I'm like, oh my God,
that's creepy.
It's in my stuff. It knows me too well. So, half the people probably are freaking out going, I don't want that. That's too much. That's like Big Brother. If it knows that about you, what does it really know about you? And I'm like, ignorance is bliss, man. Just ride the wave.
I'd rather
ride
not know
wave.
what it knows.
So those are kind of like, I think I'm not using like Claude, and I'm not using some of the other ones as much anymore. Still do ChatGPT because it's got some cool stuff behind it. Creatively, I guess, like I'm not using like CapCuts anymore. Yeah.
I think there's like a certain level as much as we can trust AI, because obviously trust in AI is a topic in itself, but I feel like for me, there's a certain authority that comes from like Gemini and Copilot because they are, Google, Microsoft products. There's these big brands. So there's this assumption almost that if we're using Gemini, then maybe that content from Gemini is going to be more what Google wants because it's coming from a Google source. So maybe that there is more trust there. So I find myself going towards Gemini for that reason. I feel a little bit more, what's the word? Just
confident.
Like when I go to Claude, I feel a little less confident in the content. Not that it's like bad or wrong. I think that there's just a little bit more trust in Gemini, which is interesting. I don't really want to trust an AI.
Well, that was a great segue into kind of what we wanted to open the conversation with on content AI was hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to talk about pros and cons of AI, there's good and there's bad. And hallucinations have, since the early days, been one of the bigger, if not the biggest issue, whether it's financial analysis or content writing. It's where did you get your information from? Where are these? You're pulling facts and figures, and then if you kind of go, "Hey, show me your sources." Well, I was just I was trying to make you happy.
Yeah,
I'm like, don't make me happy. Make me sound smart. Don't, because if I publish this and somebody questions me, now I look like a freaking idiot. So, yeah. I think hallucinations are gonna always be around. I think they're always gonna be around. I'll stick to that point. I think for the foreseeable future, they're gonna be more important. Maybe they kind of diminish over time. People kind of get, or the AI gets a little bit more smarter over time because it has better knowledge bases and things. But hallucinations are always going to be kind of that AI is taking my job. No, it's not. You gotta be the hallucination police.
Mm-hmm.
There's been countless stories in the news where legal teams or other people have gone out and done things where they're like, yeah, I was just using ChatGPT, and they're like, you're an idiot. Now you're disbarred because you weren't actually doing your homework. You were just making things up because AI was making things up and you didn't know.
Well, that was the one headline that I saw right before we started recording was how there were some AI overviews that had misinformation when it came to healthcare. And so it's like, what if this doctor went to ChatGPT and like asked a question and it gave false information? I mean, that just totally discredits. You would hope your doctor doesn't do that, but just the fact that Google is putting out, not on purpose, but some of the information is not necessarily true. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of those like Google overviews can be kind of a slippery slope because they pull from articles and like, who's to say that those articles are fact checked?
Right.
Yes, it's from something else, but who's to say that they're right?
Yeah.
So it's a slippery slope.
That reminds me of there's like a video I saw. It was like this like old lady who's like going to the doctor. Like, you're talking about your doctor. Like, well, I asked ChatGPT, and now the doctor has to go, who's the expert in the room?
Right.
Why are you in my waiting room having an appointment and coming to talk to me about your
gallstones,
your nose, whatever it is?
Well, Google said I have
Google
cancer.
said, yeah, you're like, okay. So
the
now,
new WebMD.
as a service provider, I have to not just tell you what's wrong. I have to prove to you that I'm smarter than Gemini. We've had a few clients. We've said, new year, 2026 is here. We got to get the plans out. We got to talk about strategy and what are we going to do this year for a lot of people. And then they take our plans, and they take our ideas, and they run it through a AI machine. And we're like, they're like, well, this says this. And you're like, yep, it says that.
Why did I do the strategy for you?
Well, no, they're not. They're trying to just double check things. They're just like, are we smart, or are we on the right path or not? Right.
Yeah.
And 99.9% of the time, like everything in our, like, yeah, this is a good idea. Do this, do this, do this. And then there's always that one thing. They're like, what? But it says we could do better here. And I'm like, they're not wrong, but they don't also get into the inside baseball of your specific situation, because I'm trying to think, I'm trying to rattle my brain for an example, but there are things in like technical SEO. And I'm going to use like SEMrush or Ahrefs where they're not hallucinations. They're not wrong, but they're finding it's a correlated cause of a deeper rooted issue, right? Like if you go fix that, you're putting a Band-Aid on something. If you go fix this, that problem goes away and the root cause that was causing that goes away as well. So would we waste time putting Band-Aids on things, or would we just go fix the problem that's causing all these other problems? I think probably doctors have that same thing. It's like, why am I not losing weight? Well, you're eating a lot and you're not exercising. If I just take Ozempic, the Band-Aid fix, but it's not the fix.
Yeah.
I think we're going to run into that with AI, because AI is smart enough to say, well, pull this off the shelf and take this or do that. And technically they're not wrong sometimes. It's not even a hallucination issue. It's humans are kind of like the double checkers and the smarter people in the room still going, yeah, but. And I don't love to be the yeah, but guy, but or the technically guy, but I find myself with AI going, technically, you're not wrong. However, if you were as smart as me, you would have done it this way. Instead of, and I'm not saying it's going to be that way forever. This is why we talk about things. What will that look like in 5 years? I have no idea. It could be anything. It could be way smarter than me. But today, still got a job. All right. So any other cons you want to talk about, Maggie, when it comes to content? Or one of the things I was going to mention, you go ahead. Sorry. I don't want to be leading.
Cons. I mean, kind of going back to what Lauren was saying about how Gemini feels more like authoritative or trustworthy. I just think that the voices on the different platforms are different. Like ChatGPT is really kind of trying to be your buddy. It's not really the best for content because it's like, oh, hi, friend, let me help you with this and it's like, yes, there's a time and a place for that. But if for like actual informative, educational content where you want to position yourself as the expert, Gemini is really more the way to go on that, I think. But that was about really the only note I had on this section.
Can I give you a broader note?
Sure, yeah.
Maybe you can agree or disagree. AI really has no soul. There's no personality.
It's giving me some great advice.
Did you tell it to be sassy and give you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, mine's like off the shelf boring. So maybe if you prompt it, the right way, you can put a little. But I think that's a brand exercise that people are afraid to go through when it comes to content. When I'm trying to ask AI to write a blog post or to help me write this email or whatever it might be, where I'm like, help me. I usually go with the vanilla, straight down the middle version. I don't really go with the let's sass this up a little bit version. But the good writers, the best writers, the ones that really kind of pull you in are the ones that can do that. And some of the brands that do that the best, they can capture you and engage you, make you feel emotionally certain things, or tell a story in an engaging way that like makes you sit up and pay attention. AI is like the little brother still on that. I think that's where there's a con still a little bit with AI.
Not that I've played that much with that, but I would agree that a lot of it you can still tell it's kind of like the little soulless. There's not much going on behind those eyes kind of a thing.
Well, and people, I think, are still learning to prompt it right. So I think when they don't know or don't think about prompting it to add personality to writing, the content's very generic. And so, you start having the same generic content across, hundreds of sites, then what's the difference between any of them? What makes any of them unique? Why would I choose one brand over another? It's all the same thing.
Well, and a lot of like with writing, there are some like telltale signs. Like people always say, "Oh, you used an M dash. That must be ChatGPT."
I was going to bring that up. That's so funny.
But I'm like, I was using M dashes before that, so
Yeah.
I feel like I get a pass.
Which sucks because it's like now when I write something and I naturally use an M dash, the thought in my mind is like, well, if someone reads this, now they're going to be, skeptical of what I'm writing because there's this whole thing about how, ChatGPT and AI really overuses the M dash. And I'm like, well, shoot.
No, I do the exact same thing. Or like when I'm doing captions for social media, I'm like, let's throw some emojis in there. And I'm like, oh no, everybody makes fun of ChatGPT for using too many emojis.
I even had Claude make fun of ChatGPT one time for using emojis because I went to Claude and I was like, I had some social media captions that ChatGPT wrote me and I just didn't like them. Can you give me some better ones? And Claude was like, I bet ChatGPT used an abundance of emojis. I understand why you need better options. I'm like, whoa.
Like, okay, so there's beef in the AI.
Yeah. They're arguing with each other.
That's funny. When you mentioned that it all kind of is sounding the same, and it kind of goes back to like the soul dead behind the eyes, maybe if you prompt it better, it'll have a better voice, or engagement could be leveled up. But when it does get into corporate world, and my job is to have my job tomorrow and not take risks, because my boss could be upset with me if I sass it up or those are the things where I think AI is still, or maybe people haven't tried it as much because they're like, it's safe to be on the safe side of the branding line, and it's taking risk to jump outside those normal walls, and you have to have the job and the corporate culture to feel empowered to go do that. Like, you guys have that here. If you guys don't feel like that way, you guys should. You have that. Like,
yeah,
have some fun. Like TikTok for sure. Like, it's just for
free.
fun. Yeah, you're free. Like, I mean, LinkedIn might be a little more like, let's keep the walls here, but yeah, for some of that like video content, just for fun stuff, I'm like, well, yeah, go. Like, as long as we're not like cussing and offending people, I think it's fun to have a brand voice. But I'm a little bit different. I'm not every CMO and CEO who's like, and maybe,
You're not like the other girls.
I'm not like the other girls. I'm not like some like, European German, like, like, this is the way. I'm like, no, like, let's tell me things I don't know. Bring me ideas. Anyway, it's not about me, but I just wanted to say, if you're sounding the same as everybody else, you're not plagiarizing. You're not maybe within a copyright infringement of somebody else, but you're not really saying anything new. It's
right.
A lot of Captain Obvious, vanilla content. And that's not going to move the needle for what we need when it comes to branding, getting engagement. Social media wise, it's going to be lame. Backlink wise, it's not going to get any links to it. Advertising wise, people are just going to like click and leave. They're not going to like stick around. SEO wise, Google's going to be like, yep, seen that article 7 times already today. Don't need another one. Bye. And maybe not index you. Your content job is be better at your job with AI. But if you just use it, you're not gonna win. You have to go do some cobbling together of case study performance or analysis, or pull out a spreadsheet and look at what's really going on, buck the trend, compare it to what's actually, if somebody else said something, do you agree or do you not agree, and why do you not agree? That's interesting to me. That's something that's different than not everybody else is saying. Not just, here's 5 tips or 10 tips. No, those days need to. That's not where we're at, and I think that's where we're leveling up. And then to get another level deeper is prompting is changing. Google's 2-word, 3-word phrases that everybody's caring about, like if you go into Ahrefs, SEMrush or whatever, or even Google Keyword Planner, they're like, these 2, 3-word, 4-word phrases even get searched a couple hundred times a month. But then when you get into like prompting on AI, does anybody use a 3-word prompt on Gemini? Is
No.
anybody going like coffee near me on Gemini? No, they're using Gemini for a completely different reason. What are the 3 best cybersecurity companies located in North America who specialize in fintech for credit card transactions?
Yeah.
That's a long, I don't know what I just said, but that was a long prompt.
That's a pretty good prompt.
It was like a very niche thing, though, because
Yeah.
when I'm shopping for that, I want exactly those companies. And we've run into some situations where, like, oh, yeah, we should cover that part of the map, because we were thinking 2019 SEO for the longest time, going, well, people are only going to Google, and people are only going to type in the 5-word version of this, or as long as you get the 3 or 4 or 5-word phrase in there, close enough, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're starting to see AI go, well, that might be good enough, and you're still going to win if you're the only kid in town that mentions it. But there's some longer tail stuff now that I'm seeing people write, and some very niche things, and AI is looking at a lot of different pieces of copy. It's so much smarter than it used to be. Not just the article, but the service page, and then the about page, and then your LinkedIn profile, combined with online reviews and what people say about you. Then they go, oh, well, yeah, I just triangulated, or what is the word for like quadral, like
Triangulated, but like with like 7 different things.
I just pentagoned like 5 different sources, and that's why I rated you number 1 as the number 1 fintech. It used to be your website mattered, but now it's like your website plus reviews plus 7 other citations of other people talking to you about this, or mentioning you in the same space. So it's awesome. It's like next level now. And so just that, give me 1,500 words on a topic. It's so like, it's so phase 1, step 1. It's step 1 of 4 or 5 things that we have to do now. And our scopes of work now are just, that was the way it used to work. We could kind of start and stop there, I think. But now it's like, no, we got to keep going. And I think that's where, again, AI helps. It's a pro for sure to have AI be that smart and figure it all out. But content is not taking over. AI is not taking over content. It's just making content people better at getting past the easy step of phase 1 and getting into the weeds of phase 2, 3, 4. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think
ramble?
I think that makes sense, because I think that there's like this switch that has occurred, where originally it was like you use the content to bring people to your site, and then they kind of see your reputation as a brand, which ultimately you would want to lead to like conversions, sales, etc. But I feel like that's switched. So now it's like your reputation is what brings people to your site, and then they see your content, and then they convert. So I don't know. It's like being reordered a little bit.
Right. And sometimes low value copy still kind of comes through, because it's early days. It's still like, I can get away with just basic citations. I don't have to have the best, because AI is still kind of figuring it out too. So there's a little hacky, black hatty stuff you can kind of do and get away with still. It doesn't have to all be gold, for sure, but it does show us that AI is looking across a much broader ocean than just that piece of content on how it marries with the rest of your website. And so we've had to like walk back, so, or at least make me recommend to some folks that they walk back years and years and years of blog posts that are low quality, not great, maybe off topic, maybe the titles are like not even on point. Like, I don't want to name names and talk about anybody, but there's some titles out there that on people that we work with. I'm like, what? Who wrote this art? Why would you even write this? What was the point? And no one's reading it. And you shared it on Facebook and no one clicked on it. And it's just like, don't waste your time, people. Yeah. Don't waste your time.
It's just that the title is so unrelated to whatever you're trying to get clicks for that people can't even tell what the article's about. It's like, that's not going to help you.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been good. I think we can kind of put a bow on the AI series here. We've talked about it a lot. I'm kind of looking forward to getting into other topics. But final thoughts, go around the room. What's your take on AI? Let's go first.
Well, I think for me, I think everybody, when AI came out, we're all very skeptical of it and trying to get used to it. And I think I'm at this point now where I just need to like accept it and use it as a resource instead of being so like, ugh, about it, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, because I was very like anti-AI when it came out, but especially in this field, it's not going away.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you want to stand a chance, I feel like you have to accept it and use it, because it is a valuable resource. It can lighten the workload a lot.
And I think for me too, it's a little discouraging as a creative, because it's like, I like writing outside of marketing. I like writing, you know, in other genres. And it feels like people are relying too much on AI in those fields as well. Or in college, students are writing essays using AI. And I'm like, are we learning anything from that? So anyway, all of that to say, lots of skepticism, lots of acceptance on my end, but it is frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, I think the creative side of things is just a whole other can of worms, because I definitely agree that people are taking advantage of it. But for this side of things, I think it is, you know, it's decently helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have much more to. I think I agree with a lot of those sentiments. I think if I could provide a slightly different, unique perspective, I've been doing this for 20 years. There's always something the new videos, the new content now. You know, blogs are dead. Now it's all video or whatever. And, you know, there's always a thing. You're always chasing the next thing. AI is a big new thing. It's not a small one. I, as a agency owner, am looking for people on a career path that is not afraid of AI. I think people who are going to resist are going to find it hard to be successful. It's a tool. It's a helpful tool. It can save you time to do some things. We don't need to have a person answer the phones and talk to people the way AI does. Your AI person transferred me to you, and I go, yeah, what can I help you with? He's like, well, it wasn't AT&T, but it was like one of those like phone companies. And I was like, am I selling you like digital marketing services, or are you trying to sell me phone services? Because you just listen to my phone service. Like, you know that my phone service is better than your phone service. And he's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. What are you doing? Like, how do you do all that? I was like, all right, we're not going to be buying VoIP. We're not doing press 1 for sales, press 2 for customer support anymore. Like, the needle is moved. We're gonna be forward thinkers on that stuff. We're gonna play with it 'cause I like it, and we're gonna be on some cutting edge cool stuff with the AI agents. But those AI agents are not humans. So back to my point, I'm looking for people who like to play with things, use the technology, and use the tools, and you know, whether it's developers who like to play with headless, you know, or new cool technology and creative that makes them better at building websites. Great. There's a whole world of AI in Google Ads and automating scripts and making Google account run through AI. I'm not afraid of those either. At the end of the day, I couldn't give that to a client and be like, here's your audit. You got to you got to pull the weeds through, or pull the weeds out of it and go, that's legit. That's not real. That's probably somewhat of a hallucination because call tracking broke. The tag fell off the website on the last update, so that actually it didn't go down, it went up. But the AI can't see what's really going on sometimes, right? There's always going to be a job for the human to double check and make the automation and the scalability of AI better, because they can do more things, but they can also double check AI and make it be like, yeah, I used AI, it was wrong, I fixed it, now it's better, we all win.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's with content, with creative, with all the things that we're doing. Lean into it, use it, and find the cracks.
Yeah.
And the cracks are where you're going to find the gold and what makes you guys you, and what makes your content, and not just the next Captain Obvious top 10 tips of nothing that nobody cares about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Happy
Thanks
New
for
Year.
having us.
We'll
Yeah.
do it. We'll get back on these again and have a new topic. Not sure what the next one will be, but stay tuned. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Jinx.